Hi everyone. How are you? Oh, so okay. How much minute is this? 2 minutes. All right. Hey Scott, how are you doing? Welcome. It's been a while. How are things going with you? Tired? Tired. It's been a couple of weeks. Yeah, but I'm good. I am good. I say I'm gonna jump on the live here because I haven't done a live in how many weeks now? A couple weeks, well, yeah, well, 2 weeks. So I said, let me just jump on and meet up with my people for a little bit because it's almost the end of the week and I didn't want it to be a case where, yeah, 2 weeks. I didn't want it to be a case where I go 3 weeks, then 1 month without doing a live. Yeah, so how is the weather where you're at? How's the temperature over that side? You're in Florida, right, Scott? Yeah. Um, okay. So how was the snow for you? Was the snow bad? In your little sunshine city uh, or state? Was it that bad? We had a little bit here, but it wasn't anything, to be worried about. We were stuck for like 2 days, but yeah, it wasn't that bad. We got about how much inches? Not much, because I think the third day after it started melting, and by the fourth day it was pretty good. So, but I know a lot of places, those warm states were experiencing a little bit of a snow. So um I know they probably had emergency. South Florida, not North Florida. Oh, so it's not the entire state that had gotten snowed in. Okay, okay. Yeah. So how is the illegal immigration going? Do you know anybody that is affected by that? It's been in the news, and it's just scary because even the legal ones, probably are scared as well because there's so many things going on. Hey Marvin, how are you doing? No comment here. Okay. Yeah, it's a scary situation for like everybody. And yeah, that's just the reality right now for the next couple of years. So I don't know. But I heard the first plane got landed in Jamaica. I don't know how many persons were on that flight, unfortunately. For those persons, I hope they weren't here that long, and probably, I don't know, even if they're here that long, at least they would have probably saved up a little bit. Because that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Hoping that these persons, would have saved up some money and would be able to go back if, they're caught in those raids. Um, I'm doing good, Marvin. Marvin, I'm doing good. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Remember to double tap the screen. All right. To give the video a thumbs up. Okay, you saw fear around? Yeah. So the roads here have been very, very scanty in Texas on the, because they had a lot of road repairs going on, and that has been like, not The roads are not that crowded anymore with persons working. Might find one and two persons on the road, but it's been a little bit scanty. I guess because everything's going on with immigration, ICE raids, and everything. So that's just it. But I'm just kind of sad for a lot of family members, who are being affected. Because I know even though, illegal immigration, yes, it's illegal. Hey, Lorna, how are you doing? Even though illegal immigration, is illegal, and I don't encourage it, but a lot of persons do benefit from it. A lot of persons do benefit from it. Because some persons, it's the only way out of poverty for some. So, it's just a sad situation because you have one or two persons who would normally either come up on them visa and decided to just do their thing because probably they have family members home like back in their country who they probably want to take care of, send back to school or college, or they want to purchase a piece of land, a home, and start a business, whatever it is. They come over here and they do a few things, and even though it's not right, they are making an impact in their family. So that's just it. Lorna, I'm doing good. How is the weather in Illinois? Yeah, the road has been empty, yes. And it's not gonna be only the road alone, Scott. It's not only the road's gonna be empty. You see those long Chick-fil-A line? Yeah, man. They're going to get short. They're going to get, well, the lines are going to get longer because the wait time is going to be a little bit longer because they don't have much persons to help out in those areas. So, yeah, it's empty. The roads are empty. Some business place are going to feel it. Yeah, man. Some business place, we're not going to have anybody to help out with cleaning some of those bathrooms, So a lot of things going to happen. Just give it a few more days to months and you'll see what the effect of illegal immigration crackdown is. So in as much as, yes, countries want, the legal process to take place, it's gonna affect a lot of things, from, especially with the agricultural industry, that is gonna feel it. Our pockets are gonna be feeling it a couple months from now. So yes, in the stores right now they have items, but a couple months from now we probably don't have any apple, banana, strawberry, grape, all of those are gonna be short. And then we're going to feel it in our pockets because we're gonna have to end up and pay more money for them. Yes. So Al Dimitri, thank you so much for tuning in, Al. Chick-fil-A here in Cali empty. Okay. And prices is already soaring. Yeah, it's gonna go up. It's gonna get so bad. It's gonna get so bad. So even though, yes, we are ridding the street of, illegal immigrants who we think are danger, danger to our communities. So, they've been involved in crime, violence, and all. Even though we're doing the right thing with, trying to rid the street of them, I don't think most of them are even like, all of them are illegal immigrants, but some do end up in that raid, and unfortunately, yes, they'll send them back home. But because of that, you have persons who are illegal, and even if they're not, even if they're not involved in anything, they're going to be hiding because there's a possibility that, who knows, somebody might not like you. Somebody might not like the color of your skin. You might be excelling at work, and somebody just decide that, okay, then it's time for you to go, and persons are just going to be doing silly things nowadays. So Marvin Lee says, start plant up in your backyard. Exactly. We need to start getting our fingers dirty. So all of these folks that I was doing a video, I should have probably posted it. But all of these folks, we have some folks who have some really nice property, and I don't think they ever lift a finger in them life, because they've been always having, maids, and they have persons in their backyard doing all of those fancy job, I don't know what's going to happen for them because I think people are going to be, jobs are there. Jobs are going to be there, but the rates, the rates are going to be either double. People are going to double up on these rates now because remember, when it comes on to illegal immigration or, undocumented persons, they will work for anything, little or less just because it still works out in their favor. You understand? They give their best in everything that they're doing. And so now, when you have the legal ones, yeah, if you're gonna ask somebody now to go and clean a house, you think you can tell them you're going to pay them $15? No, they're gonna need more. They're gonna need more money, so they're not gonna be accepting what they used to pay persons who are undocumented or illegal to do those jobs. They're not going to accept that rate anymore, because there's always option. Nobody is scared about, I'm going to be calling down this person because you're illegal. No, people are not going to be scared anymore, so persons are going to be asking for more money because there are so many more jobs that are going to be available. All right, so we're gonna be having options where we can pick, choose, refuse, and then that's the problem. Yes, go ahead and start double tapping the live, people. Thank you so much for tuning in. CH312, welcome, welcome, says it rough out in the streets. Yes, it is. What do you mean by that, though, CH312? Scott says, a lot of fruit in my yard. No, Jamaica apple, pineapple, mango. Oh, Lord, show off. Not because you're in Florida. Mm-hmm. Well, may have mint in my kitchen. It dry though. Yeah, man. And rosemary. And I alone have them stuff there. Mm-hmm. And I'm the Jamaican apple. But yeah. Marvin Lee says, okay, please stop up the live. Share the live. I'm a CNA working on my RN. Congratulations, Dimitri. We were short staffed, even though we were short before, but no, exactly. It is gonna be even worse. I don't know why, why you're short staffed. No. I would assume that, for all of those registered nurses, is it short staff with registered nurses or CNAs? But either way, I'm assuming that the registered nurses would have actually done their boards exam. So, their legal status would have been checked. For the CNA, I'm not so sure the process for that, but the CNA, okay. Yeah, so probably. So I know every industry is gonna be affected with, the loss of multiple undocumented workers, because they make up, a large part of the workforce here. So that's just it. Yeah, so all of that. So hospitals, daycares, nursing homes, because sometimes they have persons recruiting companies that will kind of take in a few persons, and some persons will come up on contracts and do one and two little, daycares, nannies, all of those persons who normally, rely heavily on having, a nanny at their home that they can pay little to no money for. So for example, you have 4 kids, you decide that, okay, I'll give you $500. And if you're illegal, you just comfortably just accept your $500 and you just make it work for you. No, there is gonna be more competition out there. The rates are gonna be high. You're gonna be spending more money out of pocket for those. So it's gonna be sad for everybody. It's gonna be sad for everybody. So even though everybody would be like, yeah, send them home, send them home. Yeah, send them home. We're gonna have to learn to start, making our own food. Who never used to wash bathroom before, we're gonna have to start wash it, because while we could have called the agency and say, I need somebody to come over and clean today, and in split seconds, you have one company show up, or you might have 10 different companies, on hand that you can always reach out to. No, you're gonna be there for a few hours or days waiting for somebody to come and, clean up your house. So in the meantime, you're gonna have to learn how to wash, learn how to cook, clean, and all of those things. And then the one thing I was laughing about, or not necessarily laughing about, but with the housing industry, because when it comes on to, hard work, labor, you're talking about a lot of Latinos. Hi, Naz, how are you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. Is X-ray tech MRI a good feel? You know that, Naz, I'm a nurse. I really couldn't give you the best advice on that one, honestly. All right, but I would say just go ahead and research on them and see which one you think is the best one for you. Yeah, man, no more house cleaning. So you think houses were not well taken care of before? Oh Lord, no, the problem is it's gonna be bigger. You understand? It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be terrible, especially in the hospitals. Yeah, man, because I remember working in the hospitals, and some hospitals they only have one staff or two staff that supply, let's say the emergency room and probably like the telefloor. So how is that going to even work? You understand? Because sometimes you're calling some of these, housekeeping persons, and they're like literally rushing in between. So can you imagine? No, none of them not show up for work. None of those bins not going to be emptied. None of those beds not going to be made. And then it's not like, you have a lot of nurses who are very proactive and be like, okay, then yeah, the patient come out of the bed, let me just go ahead and clean it. No, dear, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be happening. There's going to be so much delay with care right now, accessing care, because everybody going to be sitting down looking at each other, trying to figure out who is going to clean that bed because they don't have any housekeeping service, so, or who is going to wash that toilet, or who is going to bring the tray, to that patient's room, because everybody is scared or feeling threatened right now. So CH312 says radiology and x-ray techs make a lot of money. Okay, nice to know. Nice to know. I've never researched on it before, but nice to know. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Please go ahead and, thumbs up the live, double tap the screen. And if you're new here, when you get a chance to subscribe, all right? Subscribe to the channel. We're just chit-chatting about a few things going on. Mostly about immigration crackdown and the effects right now, even though it wasn't really a planned, topic, but that's what we're talking about. All right. So I know with the healthcare industry right now, it's gonna be affected, because as I say, a lot of times, even as a nurse, it's short staff. And sometimes we rely on even the CNAs, as Dimitri was saying, a lot of there is short staff in his state right now at the hospital that he's working. So even with that, supplying for the techs, and sometimes you need persons for transport, those are gonna be delays. So yeah. Naz is in New York City. Okay, how is the weather there though, Naz? Are you covered in snow down that side? All right. Not at all. Okay, nice. Nice to know. Nice to know. Okay. So but what are your thoughts on you can go ahead and put it in the comments. 35 degrees. Okay. Well, yeah, it's cold. Yeah, that's cold. Do you guys know anybody that is affected, personally with this immigration crackdown? I know a few persons, but you know what? If you haven't watched the video I posted, I don't really talk much about, things like politics and all, but immigration is in, the crackdown is in the news right now. So I decided to just go ahead and talk about it because, I'm an immigrant as well. So even if it is illegal immigration crackdown, it's still going to affect me one way or the other, So I was kind of just talking about, some of the things that, I think, we should be thinking about right now. Because even though, yes, I'm not saying, go back home or anything, but based on how things are right now, it's just a little bit worse than before. Let's just say that. While we could actually do one and two things and you could still get away with it right now, it seems as though it's just going to be harder for you to be doing anything just because of like policies and things that they have in place. So it's going to be so difficult for us to get around certain things. You understand? So I was just kind of suggesting that if you're here for a long time and you probably save up like, money, you've purchased a car or you purchased a few furnitures, whatever it is, and you think you've at a point where you could go back home and see if that will work out for you, try something. It's either, I never suggested YouTube, but everybody is doing YouTube now. So who knows? You could be a content creator. It can be a case where you go back home and you start a business, but at the end of the day, you would have made that voluntary decision to say, okay, then I'm going to go home just because of, what's happening. Places are being raided every day. You have persons who are just being taken, and housed at different locations and then being sent home, and who wants that? It's embarrassing when I see, I was watching a video and I saw where, illegal immigrants are being sent home. They come off of the plane, they're in their country, and they only have one little garbage bag. And don't mean to laugh, but they only have one little garbage bag on them shoulder. You understand? I don't like it because you can't imagine if you're there overseas for a long time and you probably was seen as a Santa Claus in your community. Let's just say you were seen as a Santa Claus in your community, but persons don't know what you were doing at the time, but you were doing good. You were taking care of your family. You send a little money down and you build up a little thing and whatever it is that was going on. You understand? And then no, all of a sudden 2025 come in, you hear that, oh, we're cracking down on this thing. And rather than say, okay, then, based on how things are going, you're not going in the direction that I would have loved it to go. So I'm going to make that decision. But then you change your mind and say, no, sir, I'm going to take the risk. And you go take the risk and one day decide to just show up at a supermarket. You go to church, you send your kids to school, you decide to go pick them up. And out of the blue, somebody just hold on to you and take you straight to the little detention center. You understand? And then if you do have relatives here, they probably walk with a little suitcase, knapsack, because I don't think, when they put you on that airplane, I don't think they're paying for no extra luggage, like, 2 suitcases, like how we know would normally go down with. I don't think they're doing that. Them just, whatever they catch you in, whatever, your family members bring to you, I think that's it. They're not going to tell you, say, okay, you can't carry a personal luggage, you can't carry a carry-on, and you can't carry two extra bag or an extra overweight bag. No, they're not going to do that. Then just gonna put you on and send you down, and then when you go down now, you're going to have to walk because everybody know that today is the day that the airplane land. So what's gonna happen? And then your family members see you, oh, you're coming from America and this is how you're looking. You understand? I don't really like the idea. So I'm just saying, like, right now, if I were in some of these folks, position or shoe, I would say, based on how it look right now, when I take my little time and start pack up, one suitcase at a time. Oh, you can carry one suitcase, Scott? Okay. You can carry your stuff with you. Okay. Clothes, one suitcase. But how big is that suitcase? Like a regular size suitcase? But I was just saying, like, I would just sit down, pack out and make everything right. And even if, for example, we decide that we're not going to go down, but because we know our status is illegal, we're undocumented, I would just say right about now, I would be packing up certain things and start sending them home. So I pack up my little clothes, my furniture. So that way, any day I decide to go on the road and those guys decide to say, okay, then where's the documentation, and put your little finger. Oh, you can fight it in court. It's not instant deportation. Okay. Well, but you're going to be in lockup for that time, right? CH312. So I'm just thinking that, I'll probably just send down the stuff, send down my things, and that is a persons who definitely either, they commit one little crime or something, because you realize some little simple things persons are being sent home, being deported for. So even if you decide to fight it in court, there's a high possibility you're already illegal, you're staying for how long here. There's a high possibility they're still going to send you. So you probably end up fighting, and nothing don't come out of it more than you just get stuck in the same place. You understand? So I would just think that if I were in that position, I would probably start sending down my things and go ahead and then continue living in America. And if I can continue still working upon little money, I will do that until them decide to, but when I empty out my bank account and send down all of my clothes, my furniture, not all of them, but the furnitures and everything. So that way, you just kind of live, work, and if they do catch me, then at least I know that when I go back to Jamaica, I still have clothes, shoes, maybe a little furniture. The only thing we need to think about is like a place, so that's all. So CH312 says it's not instant deportation. You can fight it. Some people were already ordered removed. So those people who were already removed will be removed right away. Okay. Ship out everything I had. Exactly, Scott. Exactly. So even if, you still feel as though you can play a little hide and seek with everybody else up here, I think that if I ship out everything, I will feel a little bit better. I'm going to take the free flight, back down. But who pay for them flight there? Is Jamaica going to pay for it? Or America? Who pay for it? I'm going to put it on my bill. Lord have mercy, help us, Lord. It's not a laughing matter. It's a very serious thing, and we need to think about it. We really need to think about it. And if we know persons, we need to talk to them and encourage them, to make sure that we put plans in place so that way, if in the event something like this, because I know a lot of persons, they work so hard for years. Oh, the White House pay for it. Nice. They work so hard for years, and they save up a lot of money, and they save up, they even contribute to the American society, the economy when it comes on to our social security. Them pay social security, Yeah, man, because some of them, you're very creative, so they end up on paying social security and everything. And to the point where, they've worked so much, and they're at a point where they can receive social security, at the end of the day, because they reach the age. But them can't get it because them not legal, them not straight. And so life, life for them is like at a standstill. For those persons, I would just think that, I don't know how much money I would have, saved up already. But if I am here for 20 years and 30 years, I'm not find anybody if fall in love with and married, and probably my kids, them never file for me, but I am here, whatever the situation is, I would probably just call it a day. It's kind of hard to say, you're gonna leave somewhere that you've been at for how many years, though. It's hard to say that, but sometimes you have to just make the hard decision, Hi, Raquel Young. Thank you so much for tuning in. How are you doing? Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard decision to kind of tell people, to go back home and all, but I don't know. Probably if I were in, their shoe, probably, I don't know what I would be doing. But I know definitely that probably, because knowing the person that I am, I would have started planning and doing all of those things. So that way, I don't lose, I don't lose anything. And I would get to go back home, with my head, my head, high, some dignity, when I'm going back home, go home with confidence because I'm not going down empty-handed, It's just so sad to see how hard they come over to work under the table and bless their families. Exactly. And some of these people, even though they're illegal, they're doing so well in terms of when you talk about their family members, they send their money back home and help out their families. They're doing so well. You understand? They're doing so well. So can you imagine if them did straight? Lord have mercy. If they were straight, if they were well documented, no, sir. So it's really good that they were able to do that. And that's why I think that even if one person come over here and they work for 1 year, a lot of persons will take that opportunity. If they see a way out, and if it's just 1 year, they're able to work in that status, I know they feel good. Even if they get caught, they would feel good about it, because when you work 1 whole year as an illegal, and you send your money back home, the dollar value, yeah, they can do a lot with that 1 year worth of money that you send down. You understand? So that's just it. Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Bernard, how are you doing? I am doing good too. Yeah, good night. Are you on the road right now? All right, and then the other thing that I saw on the news was with Florida, Scott. Yeah, with Florida, where DeSantis was saying that he was implementing something where, when you're sending back money to Jamaica, or not Jamaica, but overseas, for the illegal or undocumented folks, it's going to be harder for them to do that, because he's putting in something where the service, that remittance service, they definitely have to check, your legal status. I don't really like that part there still, but I don't really like none of it. But, so it's going to be even worse for persons who, are illegal, because can you imagine you're coming up and that's the only way for you to get your money out of the country, and no, the one way that you normally do it, because we are very smart, when it comes on to immigrant and in your illegal status, you are a very smart person, because you want to make sure that every cent you work, you send it back home, because you don't want to get caught with all of that money, and you don't want to be saving up all of that money and then you're not able to go back on the plane when you're ready with so much cash because of the limitations. And so for him to put that in place, no, it's going to make it harder for persons. It's going to be very, very hard for persons, because even if things are working out for some persons, the undocumented, and even though crackdown is going on, some persons are still able to, go around and do their thing. And it's working out for them, even if they're playing hide and seek for the next 4 years. It's working out for them. They're still able to take care of their family members and everything. I just think that, you see those folks now who are thinking about, doing that same little trick and decide to come over here and try to look for the American dream. I think it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for them. They're not going to be doing it, because, you have some persons who are risk takers. And even though, let's just say, most of the time persons decide to go to America, or they go to the UK or Canada, because they probably know 1 or 2 persons over there. So even if they don't have a family member there, they might have a friend, and they might be able to hook up with the friend and kind of settle down a little bit. So know that, that part is gonna be difficult, where you work a little money and send it down. If they decide to come over here illegally, it's gonna be difficult for them. So the crackdown, this illegal immigration crackdown, is even getting worse, because no persons are not gonna even see the reason for coming up here anymore. Because if you're coming up here to work, you can't send your money out, because remittance services are asking you for IDs or for your documentation to show your status. The only thing, I guess, you probably can find your friend and have them decide to send it for you. But, Scott says can't send money overseas anymore. Exactly. So it's just getting hard for everybody. It's getting so hard for everybody. Yeah. Can you imagine that 1 or 2 persons, they're putting a stop on transport money now? Okay. Yeah. You can imagine those persons who, who are in college, because I know some persons, especially some parents, they have their kids and they say that the kids have potential and they decide to just, one parent just decide to say, okay, then I am going to go over there and I'm going to work and send back every red cent that, I work so I can pay your tuition, because in some places either they, student loan too high, or, or even if they're taking student loan, they still have to come with some money out of pocket because not everything is covered by it. And then, it is gonna be a case where, they're not able to do that anymore. They're not able to do that anymore. Raquel Young says, it is now the 25th year within a century. It marks a quarter of a century of success, growth, and resilience. So it's a time of introspection globally and individually. Spiritual signs of the time. Exactly, exactly. Exactly so. But yeah, it's gonna cause, like, there's so many rippling effects that are gonna be coming from this that, we don't even see. I don't think probably, with us or with the administration putting in all of these, plans in place, I don't know if they were thinking about all the different, things that are going to be happening because of it. Or if they do, I am wondering if they're thinking that, Americans, I no disrespect to Americans, I don't know if they're thinking that Americans are going to be, very hard working. I don't think they're going to be very hardworking. So I don't know if they thought that, the jobs are going to be available. The different jobs are going to be available for these folks for them to go ahead and, fill up the job market. I don't think they were thinking along that line, because tell somebody to walk, go down there and pick up them groceries. It's difficult for them already. You understand? It's so difficult, much less, tell them to go over there and pick apple. uh Tell them to go on the rooftop. Like in last summer, temperature was like 106, 108. And when I tell you that I went outside and run back inside because me couldn't deal with the sun, but only to find out that by the time I reached into the scheme, there were about 20 Latinos, Mexican folks, on a rooftop working. And I was wondering if this is even possible. Yeah, man. So I don't know who is going to do all of those work. So the housing market, the crisis is going to be even worse, because when they say about, oh, yeah, you'll get your house in 6 months, 8 months, it's going to be probably 12 months or longer. You understand? Or they're going to have to just open back up the border and get back some of these folks over here, or send back to different countries and say, okay, then you were doing well. The company that you were working with wants you to come back. So we're going to allow you to come back and continue working. But a lot of these, business places, construction sites, the home industry, yeah, man, we're going to see the rippling effects next month, or longer. Some places, usually some homes, you'll see them having like a part of the deal or the HOA, exactly, Scott. Scott says, right down, me sorry if you who have roof work. Oh Lord, yeah. Um, well, the thing about it is that the persons who have roof work, no, they can bargain for a little bit more money, probably. I don't know if they haven't really signed a contract to say, this is what they're gonna be doing for, I don't know if they can change the rate, but no, usually you'll have persons who will be mowing the lawn and be doing all of those work. Yeah, man, probably. Who knows? You're probably gonna have to see. You're gonna probably be seeing like persons walking through like little bush or something like this, because nobody not gonna lift a hand. Nobody not gonna lift a hand. But it's just gonna be. I'm thinking it's gonna be a funny. It's gonna be a funny moment. Couple months from now, couple weeks from now, seeing what is happening in all of these places. It's gonna be. Scott says, okay. So Bernard says, sometimes sending money home, and when you go back home, there's nothing the family spend. I understand what you're saying, because I always see, and it's not even a laughing matter. It's not even a laughing matter, because I don't know what I would be doing in, Scott, not a problem. Enjoy your night. Enjoy the live. I'll be on shortly. Sometimes, I see persons talking about it, and it is just so sad because a lot of these persons, Bernard, a lot of these persons, they don't even know how hard, they don't even understand how hard it is for persons to be working overseas. Because for some strange reason, when people come overseas, family members or community members, or in general, persons just have a perception that it is easy. Sometimes I feel like, persons think that money just put down on the road or the tree. You walk past the tree and they say, okay, then you want whatever, you just pick one and send it. Like it is so hard. So when I see, persons sending their money back home and, family members spend up the money, them use it, to tell them to build a house and then build something looking like a matches box, for the persons because you trust those family members. I am just disappointed. Like if I were in, their shoe, would I cut them off too? Me and them are not family anymore. You understand? Because you're sending your money and you're hoping and trusting that these persons, are gonna be looking out, for your interest, the best interests of you. You understand? And then only to find out that, people use their money and do whatever it is that they want. Like I would be so disappointed, honestly, with that. All right. Scott says, which is right, Bernard. A lot of people don't know how hard it is to survive in America. Yeah, they don't know how hard it is because, when I look at it, when I just moved here, I moved from Jamaica to the States here, and yes, you're excited and everything. You come to America, you're very excited, and then now in Jamaica, temperature probably like at 80 degrees, and you say, okay, yeah. You come to America, and you hear temperature is 50 degrees, and you say, okay, then not so bad. You understand? But everywhere 50 degrees feels different. It feels so much different. And then you come over here, and while in Jamaica, sometimes rain could be falling. And you be like, Lord, we're not in the mood right now. Especially when you open the door and you see that outside look a little bit dark. You be like, yeah, let me call out today. And work continues. And you go and you see your boss and everything okay. And then you come up here and you're supposed to be showing up for work. And you look outside and snow everywhere. Your car cover, with snow. And you're wondering, how is it that you're going to make it out? But guess what? This is America. You have to figure out how you're going to get it. How you're going to go to work. You understand? It's not no situation like, oh, yeah, boss, I'm feeling sick or I'm snowed in. No, you have to show up at the people them work. You understand? So it is so hard here. It's so hard here in the US. You have to go above and beyond a lot of time. Yeah, man, and nothing is wrong with going above and beyond. But I'm just saying a lot of times persons don't really understand that when you get here to the States, yes, work is work, but the work up here can turn up differently. It is so much different. You understand? Nursing work is the same. It's the same. It's the same stroke patient I take care of. But my word, sometimes you're there and it's like, the one patient, it's harder than having 20 patients. Honestly, it's so much harder than having 20 patients, much less you have 4 patients here. Because by the time you finish with one patient, when you don't sweat, when you finish sweating, you don't even know that is, you have 3 other patients dealing with sometimes because there's so much things to do. All right, so it's difficult. It's very difficult to work here in the US or survive in the US. It takes a highly motivated person to move to another country to start from scratch. Exactly. I remember when I was moving here and, the company, I came up with a recruiting company and, they say, oh, bring as much as you possibly can. So, me end up and bring, I'm just starting, well, not really starting out, but I had a few things and I say, all right, let me just walk with a few of the things that, I think I would need. And I did walk with them. But then by the time you come up here, you hear that, oh, you're making $2,000 per 2 week. You understand? But then you look at it and the rent is $1,800. Then you have a car, the note of $400. Then you have so many additional things that you have to go ahead and pay. You understand? You have so many additional things that you have. And then you look at it and you say 6 of one, half dozen of the other. You still were able to save a little. And it still makes sense. It's better. But cost of living is high. You understand? It's still high. Your expenses are there. You have to take care of them. And then any other, personal thing that you want to do. But it is when you're starting from scratch, you have to have a strong heart. You have to have God on your side because, especially if you don't know anybody, if you don't know anybody in the state that you're going, it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult. So and even though sometimes you might have somebody there with you, you know, you still need other persons to talk to. You understand? You still need your friends, and I'm not saying that you're gonna be like the antisocial kind of person. But sometimes you go into a state, and if you're new there, it's hard for you, especially when the culture is different. When the culture is different, it's so hard for you to make friends sometimes, especially if there's a language barrier. And even sometimes I don't think it's a language barrier. I don't know, but sometimes the language barrier is a problem. But sometimes I'm thinking, yeah, man, you speak English, so. But I guess the accent, I think I need to put on more of the, how would I say it again? Yeah, man. Oh, Lord, but the accent and all, like, if I say gone, for example, gone, people wondering, what's that? You understand? And I have to be like, gown. Like, okay, then, like, this is killing me. Like, so yeah, after a while, it annoys you. It annoys you, and it makes you feel depressed because then you're wondering, nobody's gonna ever understand you, or you have to be repeating the same thing over and over. Or sometimes persons will be, there, you're talking with them. Like, I remember when I was in the state of Maine, and I was like talking with the patient, asking questions. Hi, Rod. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I was there talking with the patient, and for some strange reason, the patient wasn't answering. They were just like, and I'm like, are you hearing me? And they were like, just keep on talking, just keep on talking. I'm like, okay, then, did you hear anything that I just said? And they were like, oh, no, I'm just listening to your accent. And I'm like, okay, then. And then I go in the next room, and it was just the same thing. And I'm like, because this is burning me out. It is burning me out, like repeating myself over and over just because, a person is caught up in the accent. Like, I just think that I'm speaking English, and that was it. But yeah, it can be frustrating sometimes. And so, it is very hard when you're starting over from scratch, not having family members, friends, nobody available to kind of help you out some days. So yeah. Do we have anybody that is a nurse here, or anybody from Jamaica? I know Scott is from Jamaica. CH, are you from Jamaica? CH 312. Yeah, so that's it. Okay. Do you have any questions, any concerns? And if you have a double tap the screen and say, please go ahead and double tap the screen. And you can share any questions that you have. All right. But what are your thoughts though, if you're new on the live? What are your thoughts on immigration? How is it where you're at? Do you notice that there are a lot of raids where you're living? Or you're not really seeing any apart from the ones that are passing on the news? As I was saying before, it's just very quiet here in on the roads here in Texas. I haven't been into like any of the stores. But I was told that in where was that again? California? Or I don't remember if it's California. But one of those Chick-fil-A, the wait time, it's a little bit longer. Rates are here in New York City, but I haven't witnessed firsthand. Okay, nice. Yeah, I know for like places like those, like Illinois, New York City. I know they say some places in Texas, but I know definitely there are raids going on because the other day I was going to church and I realized that, there was about 7 vehicles, police vehicle that pulled up on this gas station. And right there were like a lot of trucks and, workers But I'm telling you, the road has been like ghost town. It has been like, so there's not much congestion anymore because, no road work. Because I guess everybody is kind of, taking a little vacation right now. So, yeah. So I think we just have to, kind of be on our P's and Q's because, you have persons who are, even if you're illegal, you have your documents and everything is straight, as I say, you don't know who you're around. Persons can just be like, okay, then I don't like you. Or persons can be like, well, you seem to be the boss's favorite. So there, because of those hotlines, they have numbers that people can call. They can be like, yeah, I don't like you. Or if you're doing so well, people can call down. So I don't know. It's just scary whether or not you're legal or illegal right now. I hear about where they said that green card holders also are being like, there are issues with them as well. I don't know if it's like, those persons have done certain crime, and even though they might be minor, I don't know if they're just gonna be like, okay, then well, you break the stoplight 10 times already. We're gonna send you home. I don't know if it's something like that or if it's a bigger crime, I don't know what it is. But I hear that some persons with their green cards are also amongst like, persons that they're sending home. So I'm just hoping that it is not just like, oh, something just minor and they just decide to send you home. I don't know. But then again, I was hearing that or was watching a news where they were saying like certain places that have like travel bans, and those folks have like green card. I don't know what the issue is. If they decide to leave the state and go down to like, say, for example, probably Pakistan, if they will be allowed in the state. I don't really know. There's just so many things that are, going on right now. And for persons who are, you're not fully citizen yet, yeah, man, you're on the line, you're heading over there. I would just say, just be careful. Just be careful in everything that you do. Just watch your back. Be careful of the words that you say, you know. Work hard, but sometimes when you work too hard, people still, do you wrong. You work too slow at the same problem. So I don't even, know what to say. Just be just be very cautious out there. Just be very cautious out there in everything that you're doing, because it can be that you talk too fast, you talk too slow, you drive a fancy car, you live in a really nice place, or you live in a place that you're not supposed to be. There's so many things that people can be like, okay, then it's time for you to, and who knows. So just be on your P's and your Q's in everything that you do and stay safe out there. And then, the other thing that I am concerned about is when it comes on to accessing care. I am concerned about that because with everybody, having numbers that, you can call and report persons, I'm just wondering, like, with accessing care. So even though you're gonna have the hospital or the health industry probably, being affected because of, the lack of persons with cleaning, housekeeping duties, for example, or certain jobs that usually, would be for like minorities or undocumented persons. I'm just wondering if, you know, like when it comes on to accessing care, persons are gonna be a little bit no, you know, they're not gonna want to access certain care. They're not gonna want to go to hospitals anymore. So that's gonna be a problem because you can imagine now you undocumented and usually you could go into the hospital and you feel comfortable there. Now you're having a chest pain and you're wondering, Lord, is it a heart attack? Or, should I go into the emergency room or should I just stay home and watch it? Like things like that worries me because no persons are going to be very hesitant about accessing any form of care because of the risk of, getting deported, So I don't know. Because even though probably hospitals might say, okay, then we don't check those status and all. What if it is a case where, just like, you always have a basket, and I say it in my video, you might have a basket with a good apple, a few apples, and then there is just this one rotten apple amongst it. That one person just decides, okay, then as I say, They don't like you, or you did something wrong. They know your status. They just decide to call down ice on you. So I don't know. It's just gonna be a sad situation. So health-wise, persons are still gonna be affected. Um, and then the system itself is just, already messed up. All right. So, but anyways, any questions, any concerns before I go? And I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who has been supporting me on the channel. I do appreciate you taking the time out. I know a lot of us are not necessarily nurses, and I try to incorporate topics, that we can share here that is relatable. And I do hope that the content, you benefit from it, you learn something. As I say, my channel is more for, just sharing. I haven't been consistent as yet, very, very consistent, because sometimes when you're working, it's hard to kind of juggle not Facebook. Oh Lord, if I know much about Facebook, then it's hard to juggle, the YouTube and working. Like, even if you're not doing a full-time job or you're doing a part-time job, it's hard. It is so hard. Like, I know I'm not supposed to be saying it, but it is hard. It is hard. But nevertheless, I still find the time to, try to do my thing. But yeah, juggling YouTube and or doing YouTube, because I want to be consistent. I want to be a full-time content creator. But doing YouTube, it is so much work. Yeah, man, it is so much work. But I know they always say keep posting even when nobody is watching. And I'm doing that because thank you so much, Bernard. Keep up the good work, sis. Yeah, so even though, they say keep posting while, even though nobody is watching, I'm still doing that because, over time, consistency, me doing my videos, getting a little bit more confidence, making sure that my fans or my subscribers are happy, and learning how to edit and do better, videos. Over time, it's gonna pay off. So for me right now, that's the benefit of me still posting consistently, or at least trying to post consistently. All right, but I really do appreciate you guys taking the time out and joining me, watching the videos, giving the thumbs up. And even if you're not giving the thumbs up, well, it's not, yeah. Even if you're not giving the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, comment, do something on the channel. Even if it means you give a little heart, but just don't give me a thumbs down. All right? Don't give me a thumbs down. Just give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I would love for you to watch the video. Yeah, I'm a little bit needy, right? So you go. You hear people talk about like, share, subscribe. Yes, that's the vibe. All right, but yeah. All right. Well, anyways, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. As I say, I really appreciate you, Bernard, Raquel, Raid, Kia, CH312, Scott, and everybody else, Irene, and everybody else who has been on the live. All right. Until then, stay safe. It was nice talking with you guys. Okay. Bye-bye.